Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with CircWorks, and this is almost said 100 days of, or beyond 100 days of making comics, but it's Fan Art Friday, so it's pretty early for me on a Friday. But yeah, I wanted to get this video out, and my kids are on spring break, so my daughter is up downstairs watching videos or something, and my boys are still awake, but I wanted to get this done because I'd like to go out and actually do something with them because I've been busy working and stuff. I haven't had them all week. They've been with their mom most of the week, but yesterday, you know, I got them and they're a little bored. At least my daughter was. She's been playing with her friends and everything, but so anyway, so I was thinking of going, taking them to this trampoline place that I've got a group on for. So that should be fun, assuming that I've got one client that I don't know if they're going to expect me to do anything today. They're getting ready to go out of town to pitch some game ideas or something like that, so they may be busy doing that. We'll see. So today I am working on Hawkeye from the Avengers, and I'm using like his classic, you know, costume from the comic, less of what some of the younger people would know from like the movies and everything. Which, yeah, I mean, I can kind of see why they changed some of the costume on the movies. Certain costumes probably don't translate that well to live action. This is probably one of them. Same with, because he's kind of got that Wolverine style, you know, mask. And that's, you know, that's probably why Wolverine never had a mask. I'd like to kind of see what it looks like. I'm sure cosplayers kind of might do something like that where it's, you know, you can kind of see what it might look like in real life, but it seems like, you know, a lot of times even though they change the costume for the movies, they still, you know, keep it for the comics. Like, I think, you know, Wolverine for the most part, I think he still has sort of that costume. I've seen him without it in the comics a few times, but it looks like now in the comics for the Hawkeye, from what I've seen, they're going with more of that movie look, which, I don't know. I think you can have more fun in the comics with these kind of costumes. So, but the reason why I'm doing this particular character is because the comic store that I go to, it's Jesse James Comics in Phoenix. I don't know if this is his like favorite character, but for whatever reason, he started getting commissions to do Hawkeye. Like that was kind of whenever he went to a commission. I forgot this actual story, but he would always ask for Hawkeye. And so he's at his. I've been going in there recently to pick up some comic books and stuff, and he's got a whole wall of just, you know, just Hawkeye drawings, you know, that artists have done, and there's some really cool ones up there. And I've always wanted to add one to that wall, and I figured, you know, he's a cool guy. You know, he's one of these guys where, I mean, he's big into the whole, you know, really big into the whole comic book scene, obviously, but he like, it's weird because he like knows everyone's name and everything. Those people always amaze me that can remember, you know, because at one time I had only met him like once or twice, and you know, I stopped going to the comic store and everything, and I would see him at conventions and stuff, but but you know, he remembered my name and who I was, and he seems to generally really be good at that, which is probably part of his success because his comic store does really good. I mean, he's opening new locations and things like that, and you know, he does a lot of stuff online. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to do something for his wall there. So this is my version of Hawkeye. I don't know, I don't know how it's going to stack up. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Maybe when I go in there, I wish I already had gone in and taken some pictures of that wall to add with this video so you guys could see, but I didn't do that. So I don't know, maybe if I just ink this guy and color him next episode, maybe between then I can take some pictures to show you guys, because it's kind of cool. But I don't know, I did that with the Batgirl where I broke it up, but I don't know, I did the inking on one and the coloring on another. But I don't know if people want to, constantly see me do like two of the same characters in a row. I don't know. I haven't had any complaints or anything like that, but I guess I always worry about that stuff. I probably shouldn't worry unless I start getting complaints. But if you guys have any, if you guys don't mind seeing me color, this on another episode, let me know. So yeah, Hawkeye's a character I don't know a whole lot about. I think I had a couple issues of like West Coast Avengers when I was a kid, where he was the leader and everything. Other than he's an archer and everything, but I don't know much about his background or origin or anything like that. So I probably should have looked in. but yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I like I like the purple color. A lot of people, think that's kind of weird, and that's why I didn't have really any purple in the movie, probably because I don't know. I've always liked purple. It's kind of got that, I don't know, it's kind of got like a royal feel to me, whatever. But when I was a kid, that was one of my favorite colors. So. Trying to not, even though I don't have any ink on here, I've been having problems with smudging, so I'm gonna see if this will help with that, having this paper here to rest my hand on. So what's going on? So this weekend, this past weekend, we went up to Tucson, which is it's about 2.5 hours south of Phoenix, for the Tucson Festival of Books, which I didn't exhibit at, but I was considering it. I just kind of wanted to check it out. So I went up there with my girlfriend, and she has family up there, so we stayed with them, and that was cool. And yeah, so I just wanted to check out that. I don't know if you would call it a convention so much, but it's yeah, kind of. It's an outdoor event. It's all tents and things like that. Which when I went to also see a guy I know, Daniel Davis from Steam Crow, to see kind of what because he exhibits all over the place, and he does really, really well, and he's kind of built, that's all he does really right now is he's doing his own thing. He's living the dream, he's out doing conventions and everything, and, he's able to make a living just doing his art and everything, which is awesome. So I wanted to see what he was doing, and man, his setup, wasn't, because it's all intense and there's a lot of rules and stuff. that's the one thing for me. If you see my booth, I do a lot with the presentation, and you can still do with your table space and what's on the table and in background in the tent, but you can't put like any sign. They give you the signage for the tent, and you can't change that and everything up front. So usually he's got a really cool booth, and this one still really cool, but it's within the limitations of what you can get away with at this convention. But man, he's been working on so many new products and prints, and I was just amazed with all the stuff that he had did. It was brand new, and he switched to a new kind of printing. So he had some prints that had like this metallic ink to it, or maybe, I don't know if it was the ink or if it was I didn't really ask what the process was, because I didn't want him to think that, he's very cool about like giving pointers on where to get stuff and everything, but I didn't want to like, oh, where do you get your prints done? Where do you do this? Just so I'll probably keep continuing getting my prints done where I am for now, even though what I was looking at that he was doing was really impressive. So probably costs a little more too, I'm sure, but he charges a little more for his prints than I do, probably about $5 more. So he's probably got a lot more wiggle room and stuff. But yeah, they're really cool. A lot of new stuff. So I was anxious to, see what he had out there. I'm not sure. He kind of scared me because I was asking him how the show was and everything, and if it would be good to exhibit here. And he says it's good for him, but you never know, because it is an outdoor show, and you never really know what you're going to get as far as weather. And if the weather's bad, there's no like refund or anything. If it starts raining and no one turns out and everything. It is under tents and stuff, and in Arizona it doesn't rain that much, so you've got pretty good odds, but still, you probably have to get your stuff quite a bit in advance, and if the weather changes, you're kind of out of luck there. So, but I don't know. There's some other. I just want to start doing more events and things. I know a lot of people that do all these events, and it really helps them get their name out, and they're doing pretty well. I just haven't had, I guess I haven't had the time so much to, even work on anything. I did start working on some new products, new trading cards. I'll talk about it in a minute, but I have a habit of getting off my topic every time I bring something new out. So I'm just going to keep talking about the convention for now. But they over in Tucson, there's also the Tucson Comic Con, which is a lot smaller than the Phoenix Comic Con, but I do want to check it out. And I've seen people on the list from out of state that like I don't know if you guys have heard of Travis Hansen, that does The Bean. It's a web comic, and then he does printed stuff, but he does real good. He that guy's a workhorse, man. He's always, the amount of drawing he puts out is just really amazing. But he's one of those guys that, for the most part, he's able to make a living doing comics. He also sells like prints and things like that, but he's got his own comic, and he's able to do these pretty impressive Kickstarters and stuff to fund it. But he's been doing it for a while, and I think that's a lot of it is just you got to stick with it, and you got to do, the more shows you do, the more people are familiar with you, it's a fan base you grow. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But so far I've kind of sticking to just the basic Phoenix Comic Con, and I did Phoenix Fan Fest last week. But I hear Daniel, who was talking about before, who has Steam Crow, and I'll put a link to his website, so you can check out what he's doing. He's you know, it's monster themed, but you know, it's hard to explain. But also, I'll show you this. I don't know if you can see this because the camera's so close, but so I bought this from him. Let me move this real quick. I really dug this design. It's reliable robot repair. So he also, you know, he does all kinds of cool stuff. But this is just like a what do you call it? A satchel or what's the term for this thing? Messenger bag. But as you can see, this is my new mobile like art studio or carrying case. I got my little sketchbook in here. I got all my pens and everything, and then I've got a place for more sketchbooks or paper or whatever in here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I got this. This is, you know, you can see right here, Steam Crow. He brands pretty much everything he does with his, you know, branding, which is what I do too. So hopefully people will come to know my stuff just as well as Steam Crow. But he's, you know, like I said, they've been doing it for a while and everything. So even before cons were like super huge. So he's, you know, he's been able to get into like San Diego Comic-Con and stuff like that, and where it's really it's really difficult to get into that because it's just such a big thing. But he's been doing that show for a long time. I think that's his best show. What he was telling me, I was talking to him on Instant Messenger, and I kind of got busy and I had to leave the conversation and I didn't get back to him, which I kind of feel bad about. But I guess the taxes, just the way the taxes work in California is just insane. And he's, you know, he was saying even though how he was all legit and everything with his, you know, keeping up to date with all the taxes and everything, they were like hounding him at the at the convention and everything. I don't know. It's like, from what he was saying, it's just like a total nightmare. I mean, just trying to keep track of all these crazy, just the amount of taxes and stuff for, you know, I don't know if it's just like out of state people or if it's everyone in California, but it sounds like they make it so difficult people don't even want to exhibit California. And he was like, well, I don't know if I should mention this because I don't know if it's something he wants to talk about, but it's like, it's almost to the point where he'd rather not exhibit in California because of all the hassles, which sucks for his fans there and everything. But I mean, he still is, because I mean, like I said, that's his biggest show, but I think he's trying to figure out a way to make up for that, you know, so he doesn't have to go there. But that just seems crazy that it would be so bad that, I mean, you think you'd want people to come come to your state to do business, but I don't know. But anyway, so I don't know. It makes it scary. Like, I don't really want to bother trying to exhibit in California because of all this. But then again, there's people. I don't know really how it works, because I know there's guys, you know, starving artists in the artist alley, that I can't imagine that they can afford these crazy taxes. Like, I don't know, I think you're saying like, this is a while back, so I don't know if it's changed or whatever. I thought he said it was like $4,000 annually or something like that. Or that seems crazy, and I don't know if it's like a situational thing, like depending on how much you're earning there or whatever. Because some of these guys that just go for artist alley, there's no way. I mean, there's no way that they're able to pay that. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. But now I've kind of got off on sort of a crazy tangent about taxes, and no one's interested in that. Yeah, I'm sure when you tuned into Fan Art Friday today, you were really expecting me or hoping that I would talk to you about taxes. But yeah, the way I do this is I just kind of roll with whatever comes off the top of my head, and I try to not keep any awkward pauses. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the content I'm spitting out is that interesting. So you'll have to forgive me. You know, these shows are kind of just designed for mostly mostly other artists that are drawing that they can kind of, you know, draw along. That's why they, you know. And I keep mentioning it every episode that I plan on doing some more straight to the point type drawing, and maybe even, you know, shorter videos. Ah, damn it. I just messed up. Totally messed up. You see what I did? So this was supposed to be, he's got this strap thing here. That was supposed to go on here, and I started adding it. I must have penciled it that way by accident first. Oh man, I don't know how to fix that, because I can fix it with whiteout, but that means I'm not going to be able to color it. Shoot. It's gonna, because right here where his chest is, that's kind of the middle there. I mean, I could just cheat it over a little bit to where it is. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I think this is a better of two evils. Yeah, I don't know how I did that. So let me see. I'll try to make it kind of curve over here a little bit. Sorry, no, I was just talking about keeping it going, but now I'm kind of trying to figure out. Yeah, I don't really like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad. We'll see. It's going to have to be what it is. All right, so Casera, whatever. All right, let's get back to this. Oh my. So what was I talking about? I was talking about conventions and things like that. I think I was talking about the Tucson Comic Con, which I would like to do, because I've seen guys out there from out of state, and if they're willing, if it's good enough for them to kind of go out of state and keep doing it, and then, because I know the crowd's not as big as obviously Phoenix, but hopefully it's kind of growing. And I don't think a lot of people from Tucson come down to Phoenix, like for Phoenix Con. Maybe a few. And I don't think a lot of people from Phoenix go up to Tucson. So it might be a whole new crowd, and you never know how people are going to respond to your stuff. I'm just trying to find that right, you know, a good convention for my audience, because there's, you know, just what I do, is I don't, despite what I'm doing here, where I'm drawing fan art. I mean, I don't usually bring a lot of, you know, fan art to shows. I've got kind of my own brand and my own stuff that I'm selling. So, and that's, you know, you have to find the right people that are interested in that. Because there's certain shows, like I've heard, like, I don't know, the Stanley one, the Kamikaze, they always come around to my table and try to get me to sign up for a booth at their convention, but I've heard for like independent guys, it's not good. It's just kind of a money grab. They're just trying to get as many people to, you know, kind of exhibit there. And, you know, some people may have different experience. I shouldn't really say, because I've never exhibited there. But from what I hear, it's like, you know, if you're selling fan art and everything, it's good, but it's like the crowd there, they're not really interested in anything other than like your mainstream or whatever. So, and it's like way more expensive than even Phoenix Con, so I wasn't really interested in exhibiting there. But I would like to find something that's, you know, kind of caters to what I do. So in addition to Tucson Comic Con, they're doing another convention called TAPE, which is the Tucson Alternative Press Expo. Yeah, so like ape, but tape, you know. So it's a new one, so I don't know how big it'll be, but and I don't know, sometimes people say that's what they are, that they're alternative press, but then you get there and it's really not. It's just like a smaller version of the other conventions. So I don't know. I would like to check it out. It's actually next month, and I don't know if I'll be able to. Just because I already went down there once this past month, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to go back up to Tucson, but I'll have to ask if anyone I know is exhibiting there, how it went for them. Might be difficult on a first year show. That's the way Phoenix Fan Fest was. It just did not perform to my expectation, but I think it has a lot of room to grow and everything. Man, my throat seems like I'm losing my voice or something. Apologize for that. But the good thing is there's all these, conventions here locally where I'm at. There's, Tucson Comic Con, Tucson Festival of Books. There's Tucson Alternative Press Expo. There's Phoenix Comic Con. There's amazing Arizona Comic Con. There's did I mention Phoenix Comic Con? There's Phoenix Fan Fest. And then there's always, there's always little things going on. There's one. It's like a weekly comic convention. I think it's at one of the comic book stores that they just do something every week, and people set up tables. But I think it's more like they're selling toys and things like that, like a little swap meet type thing. So, but I would like to check it out once. I think it only costs like $25 for a table. So, I just haven't had the time or got around to it yet. So, see how we're doing on time. We're getting close to a half hour. So, all you people that are still watching, thank you. Still got a ways to go. I definitely won't have time to color it on this episode, and we'll see if my thing times out or not. Or if my iPhone runs out of memory before I get to that point, which has been an issue in the past. If you've watched these before, you know that. So what else? So in addition to, when I went up to Phoenix, and like I said, we stayed at with my girlfriend's family. She's got cousins that live up there. And also, we've stayed with other friends, too. She's got other friends that live up there, too. But we stayed with her cousins this time. It's always cool because they made a really, really good meal and everything. And so they've got kids over there. So I was talking to one of the kids. He was reading what is it, Percy Jackson, one of the Percy Jackson books, which are kind of like young adult, similar to Harry Potter, but it deals with like Greek gods and stuff. And I had mentioned that I was planning on doing I talked about this on my last Beyond 100 Days of Making Comics, so I might retread some ground here. Excuse me. Dang. I wish I had some water up here. Let's see. I just drank a whole thing of old water. I don't know how long it's been sitting up here. Looked like it was some soda that was just ice that was melted, but I don't think it'll kill me. So anyway, I was talking to him and telling him about this. We're just talking Greek gods and stuff, and I've got these cards that I do. This is a monster card set. I don't know if you can see that. There's like the werewolf and what we got, Dracula, and you can mix them all up and everything. And so I was saying how I was planning on doing another set of Greek gods and goddesses and everything, because I need to have some new stuff to bring to the show. So I figured, you know what, I should probably get started on that. And I hadn't really planned on it, but because I usually wake up early because we stayed over there the night, and my girlfriend will sleep in, and I'll just get up and draw and stuff. So I started working on this set, but I didn't have like it. It's kind of complicated because like I said, you mix them up. You can build different characters here. So here, like if I wanted to make Frankenstein and part of the what's his name, the who is that, Mr. Hyde, and then werewolf legs, so whatever. So anyway, so they have to fit a certain way, and it's kind of complicated. So there's a little template that I created for it, but I forgot the template. So I'm like, well, I'll take a guess at it. And I've done a lot of these, I do a lot of times when I do these Fan Art Fridays, I just do these little sketch cards. So I didn't have any of these with me, but those are the same size. So I just kind of guessed at it because I figured I could I could always adjust it in Photoshop when I got back if it wasn't exactly the right size. So I could have left up the actual size of the sketch cards and everything and done that, but I didn't. I just kind of drew one out and stacked them and everything on paper. And surprisingly, when I got back, I just could not believe it because it was dead on. I mean, the exact size, everything. I just dropped it right on top of my existing template, and it fit perfectly, and I could not believe it. And I don't know if that was just luck or if it was me working with sketch cards so much recently that I just, intuitively was right on point as far as the size and the dimensions of those cards. Just with the sketch, not even really like a ruler. I just used the back of a book, like a hardcover, just to use as a ruler to lay it out and everything. And then, but yeah, I was pretty surprised and a little impressed. So anyway, yeah, I got like I said, if you watch the my last video, you can see some of the new designs I'm working on. And at that time when I filmed that, I had them all like penciled out, or not penciled out, but like I pencil them traditionally, and then I bring them into Illustrator and I do all the line work and everything and try to keep them pretty tight. And then those ones I actually color in Photoshop. A lot of times I'll color in Illustrator, but I can save a little time coloring in Photoshop because Illustrator just takes a long time. But anyway, so now I started coloring them yesterday. I've got two of them like flat colored. Two of this, not two cards, but two. There's three. Okay, I guess I should have explained that. There's three characters on each template, I guess. And there's 3 sets of 3, so there's 9 characters all together, and each one of those breaks up into 3, head, body, and legs. So, and I've got 2 card sets so far. I've got the classic monsters and the robots of Oz, which are the Wizard of Oz characters as robots. And the reason why I did that was because originally when I designed the first set, the monster cards, I was exhibiting at this convention. It was a startup convention. It went a couple years. It's still not going on, but this is back to Daniel, who does Steam Crow. He was starting a convention called Keen Halloween. And it was kind of like a Halloween festival type convention. It was more, they would show you like how to do different crafts and how to do decorations and costumes for Halloween, all DIY stuff and everything. And then they had people that, that would exhibit there had some sort of a, Halloween theme to the stuff they did. And so I kind of catered it to that, even though, like Steam Crow, they've kind of got the monster, that whole monster thing kind of locked up. I mean, not that no one else can do monsters, but they, I didn't want to just duplicate what they were doing, but you have to have kind of a monster, not some kind of Halloween theme, and that's kind of where because originally I had my CircWorks brand. If you've seen it, it's kind of like a weird factory thing, and I'm trying to think, well, how do I keep my existing brand and have it also cater to this Halloween style theme? And so I came up with, like, because it was almost there already, like a mad scientist theme, because it's very factory-esque, you know, and I kind of built on that. So so when I did those first set, I did like my version of the classic Universal style monster characters: Frankenstein, Dracula, all those guys. Um, but I want my stuff to be more sci-fi in general, or like mad scientist, science fiction, um, real like geeky type stuff, and I didn't want it to be so heavy on the monsters, and then I didn't really know how Wizard of Oz would fall into that. Because it's not really sci-fi or anything, more fantasy and everything, but I kind of want everything to fit that brand. So I decided to do them as robots. Now, this time around, obviously I'm doing Greek gods, and you're probably asking, well, what does that have? That's not really sci-fi or anything, which is true. So I guess what I decided was it wasn't so much the characters on the card, the subject matter, it's the theme of the cards, it's called Mad Labs, Mix and Match Monster Maker, which, the idea is that you are a mad scientist and you are the one building all these characters and creating creatures and everything. So that's the whole mad scientist science angle itself, no matter what the actual characters are. And again, I'm probably thinking into this way too much, because most people that's not going to come across unless I explain it. And some people don't care; they're just like, "Oh, that's cool, I dig that," But to me, it's I like everything to kind of fit together under a brand. So that's kind of how I justify that. And maybe that's a stretch, I don't know. But all right, we got most of him. I'm going to go back and add some darks, but I want to get some of the stuff done with the straight edge here. So we've got the arrow pulled back. That's so it's nice and tight. Go, and then the arrow shaft itself. Oh, you get these arrows too. All right. That should do that. Oh, I missed these little designs on his, I don't know what you call that, where it comes down like that. I'm sure there's a term for that, but I don't know what it is. I wonder if, I'm guessing Hawkeye was probably a Jack Kirby design. I don't know that for sure, but it seems kind of Kirby-esque to me, but I'll have to look into that. It wouldn't surprise me. He's created so many of the Marvel Comics characters, so it wouldn't surprise me if he created this design too. So, although it is, like I said, it's kind of Wolverine. I don't think I don't think Kirby designed Wolverine. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's one thing I don't know. So I should look into that. Alright, so there we go. Alright. Now it's just a matter of going back over and popping some things out. And then I may or may not color this thing in. Not today though, because this thing's gonna be an hour video. Oh man. I got a comment, and it was like on one of my older videos, but they were like, oh man, this is good. I like your artwork and everything, but you take too long to draw. And I was I didn't know if that meant that my videos are too long, which I'm definitely guilty of, obviously, but I don't know if, do I take too long to draw? I mean, I don't know if people are just so used to seeing the speed videos where it's sped up and they're narrating that maybe people think that everyone draws that way. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the case with that or not, but I just like, yeah, my videos definitely are a bit longer. And like I said, it's not for everyone. It's a lot of people that watch these, and the kind of videos I like to watch are the ones that are people drawing and they talk about what they're doing, even if it's great if it's process, you know, but it doesn't have to be. I like to have company while I'm drawing, and if the longer the videos are, hey, so the video cut off. I just kind of kept continuing to work, so you can see I'm almost done with this. I'm just gonna sign my name, but yeah, I think I was talking about just longer videos and how personally I like longer. I guess it depends what it is. If it's something I'm actually gonna sit down and watch, you know, because there are a lot of times, like if it's like a casual thing, where I'm trying to figure out how to do something, I want to figure out how to do that thing quick or whatever. But if it's something that I enjoy or want to listen to or whatever, kind of while I'm drawing, then I prefer longer form videos. So anyway, I don't know if that makes sense or not. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign my name on this thing. And we'll call this one, okay, you can see that. We'll call this one done for now. I may come back and add some color to it on another episode, or maybe just do that off camera. I don't know, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna take, once it is finished, I'm gonna go and take this and put it up on the wall of Hawkeyes over at Jesse James Comics, and I'll put a link to all that stuff in the descriptions and everything. So yeah, I give you guys again, any requests or anything, any kind of pop culture character or whatever you want to see me draw, please let me know, and I'll try to get to that on a future episode. Thanks for commenting, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed and you feel the need, please do so. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's it for another Fan Art Friday. That is all.